We preach apocalypse written by John the Revelator, but won't even speak to a stranger riding on the elevator, or step to the side when we standing still on the escalator.
Welcome to Hide and Seek TV. It's your boy, and I got another video I'm about to do right now, and I'm gonna be delving deep. You already know, where we about to go with this, on a level of blasphemy and uncovering, more of the dust from under these Masonic stones. You know what I'm saying? I want to take it real deep, and I want y'all to hear me out because this stuff, as we know, we're living in a spiritual warfare. So all of this stuff we're seeing, it's all manifesting. You know what I mean? It's all showing the kingdom that's rising. It's all war against the kingdom as well. War against us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a clip from a commercial I came across the other day, and I'm going to chime on in. Listen to this. It's too dark in here. I need to get out. Here, it's too dark in here. Hence, the Messiah is going from being hidden. You feel what I'm saying? He's going from being hidden, hit the darkness. As it's written, remember, the Most High hideth his face. Listen to this. It's too dark in here. I need to get out.
Just calm down.
Calm down. The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in. And as we already know that the Messiah is what? The rock. You're going to hit the writing on the wall. He's the wall, the rock. Listen to this. The walls are closing in. I'm freaking out.
Relax, Yellow.
I'm freaking out. Hint, the fear of God is the beginning of all wisdom. Hint, the fear of the darkness. Hint, everything going from being hidden to being revealed. And when you understand yellow, hint, the whole thing, how he says, shut up, yellow. Because hint, the Messiah is what? The light, the truth. Hint, the golden light. The walls are closing in. I'm freaking out.
Relax, Yellow. Just take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath. Now, people who've been watching my channel already know where I'm about to go with this, because as it's written in John 19:34, remember the Messiah's lungs got damaged during the time of the crucifixion. So I can't breathe. And you hear how they told him to take a deep breath and breathe, because the Messiah has to be uplifted. So obviously, being uplifted, you have to have what? You have to have lungs. And the Most High put the breath of life in our lungs. He breathes life within us. So you hear how he said that the walls are closing in. Remember, I said that the Messiah is as what? He's as the rock, the walls. For those who've been watching my channel, already know I broke down Candyman. I've already explained him on how he represents the Messiah. He's all symbolism. Listen to this. I am the writing on the wall. I am the writing on the wall. Because hint the I am, hint in Exodus 3:14, as it's written, that remember the Most High told Moses his name is I am that I am. So hint I am the writing on the wall. Hint the wall. Remember, I was just talking about the walls closing in. So I want to keep this thing rolling, man. Because it's a movie. I actually came across it late. I had came across it. I had watched it on Netflix called Level 16. And I'm gonna delve deep on this because this film was all about girls who was they thought they was going to get adopted or whatever. But really what was going on was that they were taking off their faces so that people in the real world, like in the world that was outside of them where they were confined at, they thought the world was over already. But basically they were taking their faces and they were becoming young again. And when you understand how deep that goes, it's because, as it's written, that the Most High said, become as little children and enter my kingdom. And hence the whole thing of becoming youthful. So that's why they were taking the little girls' faces, because when you understand, as it's written, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a woman, unto a bride. You feel what I'm saying? So hence how the women on the show, on the movie, were getting groomed into modesty. They were getting groomed into becoming in order. And the whole thing of how we become renewed, reborn in the spirit, and then we take on the characteristics of God. So the people who were older outside of, obviously, like I said, outside where they were confined, they want to become as little children again. It's all symbolism. When you understand how deep this goes, it reminds me of what? Texas Chainsaw. Remember, I broke that down already, how the Messiah is the carpenter. And remember how he was taking the faces from all his victims. Because how is this written what? The Most High already reveals unto the Messiah his saints. Those who serve him, those who are alongside him. You know what I mean? Hint the whole thing of wearing their faces. The Most High already knows, he already knows his chosen. And the chosen is what? They are the ones who uplift the Messiah and announce him as king. And the great carpenter. You know what I'm saying? I broke this down before. But anyway, the main man on the show, on the movie, I'm sorry, on 11/16, his name is William. And you remember I just played it. I'll play it one more time. You remember I already said in Exodus 3:14, the Most High said his name is I am that I am. Hint the will of God. William. Listen one more time. I am the writing on the wall. I am. William, the I am. You know what I'm saying? He was the one running this whole operation with the little girls. And it's deep because listen to what he told listen to what he told the main character. Notice how he told her you're not like the other girls, and notice he said you're wrong. I am. She had a deep pause and then she continued what she was saying. But notice how she mentioned the I am to William. There's no way around this stuff. Look at this. We know what you've done. Oh my God, we found Rita. Listen. No, you don't. You want to kill us. You hear how he said it? I saved you. And notice how the girl said we found Rita because they found Rita without her face. Let me prove my point on this because as you can see over there, the girl who plays Rita, her name is Amelia Williamson. Williamson, the son of William. Rita, and all Rita means is what? Rita don't mean nothing but what? A pearl. Hence the kingdom of heaven is like unto the pearly gates. There's no way around none of this stuff, man, at all. And for those who've been watching my channel, you already know where I'm about to take this because before I even play it, as it's written, in that day there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Yahushua, aka Christ. When you measure the top of the altar, like I said before, when you measure the top of the altar is measured at 76 degrees. So let's listen to how clever. As you can see, you got number 6 on the left right there. They said the 7 virtues, when they was training the girls up. So hence 7-6, the 7 virtues. And as you can see, they got that 6 on the wall. You see how clever that 76 was. And I'm going to show another one in a minute. But obviously, John 3:16, hint, the Most High sends his only begotten son for the sake of the whole world, in the sense of, Israel and the nations cleaving unto Israel. But hint how the Messiah bear the sin of the world, and unto Israel he's born as a savior. And when you understand that, hint John 3:16. So when you look at that, hint when you do the square root of 3:16, what is the number? 17.776. So that proves my point about that 76 I've been showing for months. When you square root 3:16, like John 3:16, it becomes 17.776. No way around it, man. I'm about to play a clip. Let's look at another clever setup. This is actually a little YouTube short film that come on like every week. I finally came across this. I'm actually gonna be watching them. I need to start breaking them down. But as you can see, you got that number 6 right there on the wall. Once again, the 6 on the wall. The 6 on the wall, and then the 7. Remember I said 7 virtues. You just couldn't hear it because how low I recorded it with my phone. But notice the 6 is on the wall. Let's hear this loud and clear.
Hey, Evie. Did you know Alice got promoted?
Now, you remember I've been breaking down the name Alice too, and I'm going to get into that later on with Alice in the Looking Glass. Remember Alice in Wonderland? I'm going to talk about it later on, how that pertains to the bride of Israel. But once again, that 6 on the wall, just like level 16, that 6 on the wall.
Yes, last week. I hope she's happy up at 7 on next.
Hence, I hope she's happy at 7, while the 6 is on the wall. Hint the 76 again. There's no way around this, man. Let's delve even deeper because I'm about to actually play a clip from remember I was talking about what's his name? Candyman. Remember how he said I am the writing on the wall, hint the William, the will of I am that I am. So hint Billy obviously is short for William. So let's listen to what happens right here.
I had a 20 rooms for all my guys. You know what I'm saying? And I love room service.
Let me turn down just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Now I have an alter ego. His name is Billy. You know what I'm saying? So, and Billy, I can't control Billy. Sometimes Billy will pop out, I just can't control it. And Billy, you know what I'm saying, is about to be a Billy.
You hear that? These people are sick. Constant blasphemy. You know what I mean? Remember how he says alter ego is Billy trying to get everybody, trying to help everybody. Hint Messiah take on the sins of the world. I love room service because hint Messiah is what he becomes king. And you see how he said he had 20 rooms. Because hint the whole theme of the Messiah was what his saints. Everybody getting a mansion as it's written in the kingdom of heaven for their works. Listen to this right here. This is P. Diddy. Hear what he got to say about the Messiah.
Possible, and that we also spread that, and that's part of the discipline. We in this thing, and the only way we gonna make.
Only way we the people, we the Masons, hint Kendrick Lamar's, we gonna be all right. Listen to this.
Can change is if we do it as a collective.
We as a collective, togetherness, one world order.
You know, because one we've seen the one man here try to save us, another man here try to save us. It's about us getting together.
You hear that? It don't work. The one man try to save us. It don't work. We can do it ourselves. Do it thou wilt, man. Come on. So anyway, on level 16, right? The movie right here, the main girl right here, as you can see, this main girl right here, it's all in our face. The old girl right here, her name was Vivian. And I'm gonna show y'all something. Look at this. Her character, William named her after a lady off storming a teacup back in 1937. And this is very deep because the main character on the movie, the guy and a woman name I think is Victoria Vivian, and they got their dog. I just did a dog breakdown with George Clinton, and I did it on the Georgia versus Alabama. You remember I said the dog represents Messiah being a shepherd, and they're inside the cup because remember how the Messiah holds the cup of suffering. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna show y'all something else in a second. I had the whole theme of how they're in the cup together. You see that how he's in the cup with the bride and with the dog. It's called the storm in a teacup. So I'm gonna show y'all something right here because it's all in our face. And as you see, 21 Savage, I did like a couple of breakdowns on him. You see how he got the cup of suffering. You got the fire because remember Israel is as the oil unto the Messiah, and you got the palm branches because Israel is as the olive tree. You know what I'm saying? Hint how it's written, we will hold the palm branches in the kingdom. And you see how it's called Issa album because all Issa means is what? Salvation, protection, and how the Messiah gives us salvation. So it's all blasphemy. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way around none of this stuff. Like I said, it's all about who got the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Like it's the movie called 28 Weeks Later on it's an old zombie movie. And as you can see, you got 67 and you got 45, 67, and then you got 76. You see that? Remember that I broke down before on my last videos millions of times when I always show about the Messiah. Remember I broke that down about the 1976 birth. Remember I was talking about that about Revelation 12, as it's written, that the dragon who sought to destroy the man child as soon as he was born, when the woman was bringing him forth, the dragon had 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns. And obviously, we already know about the United Union and things of that nature, but hence 7 times 10 is 70s. And you see how I just showed about the 19, I just showed y'all about 76 being the top of the altar with the Messiah's in rulership. So you see how obviously 1976 to 2021 is 45 years old. And we already know I broke this down about how 2021 was a high level of fulfilling prophecy and how all the fulfillment of everything was coming ahead. And Godzilla versus King Kong, Kong representing Messiah with the axe, the carpenter battling against the beast. Remember the Antichrist thing, when I was already showing how that all pertains to Obama. I've been covering this for months. For almost a year now. A year. It's been a year now. So you see how you got the 76 and the 67. I'm gonna cover 67 later on. I wanted to just show this. And on this movie I broke down before on my taxi video, the guy was a taxi driver delivering souls to their destination. Hence how the Messiah is the judge, and how he leads us to the kingdom, or he can deliver you unto the pit, unto hell. So notice the guy name was Harris as well. And his name is Harris as well, because all Harris means is what? All Harris means is nothing but the home ruler. And Messiah is the ruler, the king, coming into power. And you see, it all got 76. I'm gonna show y'all this too. So listen to this. This is with Antonio Brown, but listen to this. Lewis Harris's. So hint the Harris and Lewis, and then when you notice the name, hint when you translate praise the Lord, it becomes Lewis Eternal. So it's like I can do this all day. Hint right here, this a brother sent me this Fatal Attraction episode. You already know all that stuff be like on the ID channel. Hint, you got 776 right there. My fault. I ain't mean to rush. Hint 7667. I'm gonna show that in a minute. The 67. But hint, this is a show. Forgot. I can't even think of the name of it right now. But it's on Netflix, and basically you got the name is Carlton Flynn. He's gone missing. When you understand the name Carl, it derives out of what? Kara, which don't mean nothing but the anointed Messiah. You know, I've shown this a million times. I'm gonna show y'all this real quick again. But hint how Carl derives out of Kara. And on the show, how his notice how 2021 is the year, and then you got 76 on the camera right there. And they called him the living, I mean, it was called Living Stone. Hint how the Messiah is the rock. He's the living God, you know, the living man. Hint the stone, the rock. 21, a prophecy being fulfilled, everything becoming not fulfilled, but everything's fulfilling. And then 76, and then hint living stone. And I'm gonna show y'all this right quick with Kara, so y'all can hear what I'm talking about. This stuff is consistent. Like this right here is our Pooh Shiesty song "Neighbors." As you can see, you got Kara on Fantasia's song "When I See You." And you got Kara. There's no way around this stuff. Leona Lewis sings on the song "I See You" because the Most High said, "Between us and you is a great gulf fixed." And remember, he said, "Let us make man in our image." Hence, the you is obviously talking about what? Israel, his people, his saints, his chosen. When you look at that, hint the whole theme of the "I See You," and then hint "When I See You," you got Kara, and then the Kara thing. Notice on Denzel's training day car scene, you got a brother just sent me this like a second ago. Shout out to you, brother. And you got Pay the Bill. Hint Bill. Remember I just said I am that I am. And then hint he got 67 on his car, on his Monte Carlo. Hint 67. Come on, man. Like I said, I'm gonna get to that 67 in a minute. We moving tonight. Keep this thing rolling. Cause it's all in our face. All about who got the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. And this is the Brady Bunch. You hear how she said 7-6. And on there, they had their nanny name was Alice. I'm gonna break it down in a minute. And I think the mama name was Carol, if I'm not mistaken. Carol. And Cara, Carol. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Listen to this 762. No way around it. Let's get deep. Cause you remember when I was talking about Texas Chainsaw earlier? This scene was when Charlie had to say grace. Hey, remember when I was talking about that looking glass, and I'm about to get deep into the looking glass, and I'm gonna do that that 67 I've been talking about in this video in a second. Give me a minute. I'm gonna get back to that, and I review it so refresh y'all memory when I bring it back up. But you see, Charlie, as we know, I broke this down before. How Chuck is obviously short for Charlie, and you know how Messiah is. Like I said, he has to be lifted up. He's the stone. Remember, I said the living stone. But when I show y'all, I think it's right here. Carlton, and then the Living Stone. So you see how I said chuck is obviously a pulley system, a chuck used to raise up stones. Hence, Chuck was God on Supernatural. And Charlie, remember Willy Wonka? Remember Charlie inherited the kingdom from William, you know what I'm saying? So you remember how Charlie inherited the kingdom, the chocolate factory from William. The I am that I am. So hence char don't mean nothing but to be burned. Hence the Messiah is as the light, the truth. And then hence as it's written in Revelation 1:15, like he was burnt in the furnace. So you see how he's looking in the mirror, and I'm gonna break this down in a second because when I was talking about that looking glass, I broke this down a billion times. But remember when I was talking about the looking glass, hence the bride of Israel going through the prophecies. You know what I mean? Remember they used to use that crystal ball thing. And then remember how, as it's written, how the Most High, how the waters oversaw his face during the creation. You know what I mean? Hence, obviously, water make glass. Hence, seeing your reflection. You know what I mean? It's deep. It's that real. Looking at yourself in the spiritual realm type thing. That's why the Boule Masons, they love to have the wheel within the wheel inside of a glass. Obama's a Leo. That's why they got the Babylonian lion. The Barak lion. You know what I mean? And when you understand the wheel within the wheel, Messiah going through his forms, his phases. As it's written in Ezekiel 1:16, he goes from a lamb to a king. And the wheel within the wheel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep it rolling. Hence, Charlie on the Purge, the very, very first Purge. Charlie was the main guy. And you know how his mom said he's going to give her a heart attack because he scared her. Hence, the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Hence, they said God after saying Charlie. You know what I mean? They said the word God after saying Charlie. Hence, they said Christ after saying Charlie. And then hence Charlie on his thing, he has what? 6-7. He got 767 when he was checking his diabetes. You know what I mean? Hence the blood sugar, because as we already know that his blood is what? The blood of the lambs lead us into the kingdom of God, the land of milk and honey. Hence the diabetes, the blood sugar, the sweetness. You see how deep this stuff goes. And right above it, you see it's a 7-6, right above the circle I did right here. It's a 7-6. You see that? Like it's no, and you see 96.4 and 5 and then 8 right above the 767. Hit the 45 again. 76 through 2021 is 45. You feel what I'm saying? So you remember when I was talking about that 67? Um, let me see, can I see it again where I put it at? Remember when I was talking about that 67 earlier, when I was breaking all that 767 down? Remember that? And I was showing all of this right here, the 6776. Then I showed it right here about the 7667. So you understand it. When you understand the 76, it represents Messiah being in rulership, because hence 7 obviously is the number of the spirit and 6 is flesh. So when they do 6-7, that's trying to make the flesh higher than the spirit. So you remember during the time of the crucifixion, what was happening? They were beating them up. And this was during the time of the Sanhedrin as well, with the Pharisees, when they were beating them up with their fists and slapping them and then spitting in his face. So hence the 67 represents oppression, 76 represents prosperity of the saints and of the Messiah. Notice this right here. A guy was on a bus hanging on. You see how you got 7 right there on top of the bus? And then you got the 6 right here. Hit the 6-7. Notice when a guy was about to get hit by a bus, you got 17 right there. Hint 7. And then I know it's kind of hard to see, but on the far left right here at the top, you got the 6 right there. The time was changing to 6 when it was at 56 seconds when he got hit by the bus. And it's like obviously the bus has 7 on it. So hence 67, 76. The guy got hit with a bus. Let's delve even deeper. Because remember when I was talking about that earlier with the level 16. When I was talking about that earlier. So remember when I was talking about the last level 16 movie, and if you know about this right here, I don't watch it, but Ruthless by Tyler Perry. And on there it's the same concept about the women going through the cult type thing. So it's always the cult theme dealing with the females, because when you understand this, it's very deep because remember I was talking about that, about the whole theme of the cult, because that all represents, as it's written, you are not of this world, but you are mine. You know what I mean? Hint, I chose you. You are my chosen. So hint, the whole theme of how Zephaniah plays William. And when you know about Zephaniah, remember the prophet, remember he was the one who brought forth the great warnings against Judah during the time of their, disobedience. So you notice how I notice he plays William. On the show, you got an actress, her name is Cara Reed. Aunt Cara. You feel what I'm saying? Um, you got Billy, he's a deputy. You got Billy, like, come on, man. So I'm gonna keep this thing rolling because as you see the girl who plays Ruth, her name is what? Williams. Melissa Williams. And remember I broke down Ruth before, how they always use these Ruth roles. Like the movie with Sandra Bullock that came out with her in the jail. You got the movie Fast Color I broke down on one of my videos, when the girl Ruth was like trying to, learn the light, learn how to connect with the colors of God. Hint, because remember in the scriptures how Ruth, remember how she cleaves unto Boaz, which is David's grandfather, and how that leads her to be blessed to cleave and to deal with the true God of Israel. So on the show, Ruth is literally in a cult who is ran by a man named the highest. And you already know how all this stuff goes on, how they always gotta have that whole theme of like the man with man, because what that represents, remember as it's written, how how the 144,000 men, obviously you have 2/3 of Israel that is cut off, and you have a third, and you have the nations who cleave unto that third, and then you got the 144K who are the soldiers of God. So you understand that, which is very deep, how it says that the 144,000 men are in a covenant with the Most High, and with the Messiah theme. So the highest was had that type of thing going on. They always do this and make it, you know what I mean? Always do this and make it boule, sodomy type thing. You feel what I mean? So on here you got, look at this, you got Alice Willis. Look at that. I just talked about Alice with Alice in Wonderland by the Israel theme. You got a man on here, his name is Kelvin, he plays Lewis. So it's always the same stuff, you know, and there's no way around it. So it's always that cult theme. You feel what I'm saying? Let's delve deeper into this. That whole theme is always like that. You feel me? The whole cult theme, every time, and I want to show that because I remember I broke this down a long time ago. Like, oh man, probably when I first started the channel up in that time. The Handmaid's Tale. Remember I broke that. I'm gonna run through this right quick. Remember I broke this down before about how the ones in the red were the most fertile, because all this is all bride of Israel blasphemy. You know what I mean? Like, remember I broke that down, how Popeye the Sailor Man fought Brutus over olive oil, and olive oil. Remember Israel is as the olive oil, and that's the bride, and they were both fighting over. Popeye represents Messiah, Brutus represents Satan, you know. So as you can see, the red is the most fertile, so that'll represent the people, who are used the most. You know what I mean? Hinting society type thing. Remember I covered this a while back. It's been a while since I had to refresh my memory on this. I had all my breakdown and notes. But when you understand the green represents those who were under strong servitude, serving the role. The blue were the wives. And I know the brown were like the rebellious ones. Notice she's the oldest. And the one in the brown, because they lose their value, thrown in the trash. You ain't worth nothing, cut off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what that whole thing was. And they was in Gilead. In Psalms 60, verse 7, remember the Messiah says, Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine, Ephraim is also the strength of mine head, and Judah is my lawgiver. So you understand Gilead, Gilead means what? Obviously you understand that represents what the whole thing dealing with the Jordan River. You know what I'm saying? Everything of that nature. And we already know about the Exodus, the part in the sea, etc. You know what I mean? Hit the Messiah baptized in the Jordan River. So it's like all that comes together, you know what I'm saying? And there's no way around none of this. And as you can see, the one in the green right here, they were called the Marthas, I believe. I guess I gotta go back and refresh on this. It's been so long. But they were called the Marthas. And when you understand right there what the Martha obviously represents, is because remember during the time of Luke, chapter 10, verse 38 through 32. And then remember, as it said in there, where he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Yahushua's foot and heard his word. But Martha was cumbered about much suffering, and came to him and said, Lord, doest thou not care that my sisters have left me to serve alone? Bid her therefore that she help me. And Yahushua answered and said unto her, Martha, 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 thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful. And Mary had chosen that good part, which should not be taken away from her. So hence the whole theme of the Martha wanting to serve. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you see how deep that goes and how serious this stuff all connects. You know what I mean? It's all in our face. It always use that feminine theme because, as it's written, the kingdom of heaven is as a bride. You know, I broke this down already. A movie called Only on Netflix. Really deep, coded film, man. I broke it down already. I'm gonna put that link in the comment section below. But look at this. His name is William, and she was the last woman on earth. Her name was Eve, and she was real rebellious. He was trying his best, and she just didn't listen. You know, because she was so caught up in wanting to seek the ways of the world. How they always like to corrupt the bride. They always like to, so as it's written, they seek a war against the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven always suffer of violence because, as we know, as it's written, the saints are as the kingdom, hence the bride of Israel. You know what I mean? The bride Israel. Listen to that.
She said you're not gonna let me. What does that mean?
You see that? He even told her, he said, I shouldn't have to be a policeman all day. You already know the law, so you do it. You know, that was his tone of voice. He was like, so you do it. You already know the law. I shouldn't have to be a policeman. I mean, do it. And she wasn't trying to hear that. So let's get deeper, man. I want to get even deeper in this video. Let's take it up a notch. Let's talk a little bit more about them wheels, man. So you remember I said Ezekiel 1:16, the Messiah is revealed via the wheel within the wheel. Remember I broke this down with John Lennon watching the wheel song. How he said they think I'm crazy. You know how he like they think I'm crazy while I'm watching these wheels turn. So let's get deep on this, man. It's all in our face. Let's listen to Tina and Ike right quick. Listen to this. She's going to mention New Orleans. You remember I already broke down about Louis Ayana. How Anna is obviously it's like a derivative of saying Mary. You know what I'm saying? Hint Louis Ayana. Remember I already broke down Louis earlier, Louis Eternal. So listen to this. New Orleans, but I never saw the good side of the city till I hitched a ride on the riverboat queen. The riverboat, because they want to possess the Ark of the Covenant. Remember I said this before. I should have had it. Thought I already had it right here. Yeah, right here. And how they want to possess the Ark of the Covenant. Remember I broke that down before a million times, dealing with the number 44. That's why Obama was the 44th president, because they wanted to say that they took control of the Ark of the Covenant. Remember I broke that down a million times already on plenty of videos. So look at this right here. Hence the proud Mary keep on burning, because they want the wheels to continue to turn, in a sense of they want, remember I said this earlier, I said, yeah, right on time. They want the wheels to turn over and over inside of their glass. Hence they like, yo, because they already know the Messiah know who coming into knowing who he is. So hence the whole thing where they want to keep that wheel turning in the glass. The one inside the mirror don't escape out. Just be as a man. And we can continue to rule this world because the proud Mary keep on burning. They want everyone caught. They want to keep everything going. It's called the Lewis curse. Where basically, if you ain't down with them, they make your life hard. Because as it's written in 2 Corinthians 4:44, that Satan is the god of this world, who deceiveth many and blind the eyes of many. So hint that whole theme of that, man. Keep people turning and caught up in the Lewis curse if you ain't down with them. Hence, she talking about the riverboat, riding on the riverboat. Because remember I broke this down before about during the time of the Akhenaten. Remember I broke that down before, the ancient Egyptian pharaoh, who is nothing but Obama modern day. I already covered this millions of times. Look at the face, look at everything, the DNA. And remember the sun god worship, the false sun worship. Remember Obamacare. Let me show you this right quick. As a matter of fact, let me just get right to it. Instead of all that talking, I can just show it right here. Look at it right here. Same thing. Sun worship. The Obamacare logo. So you see how all that comes together, man, and there's no way around none of it. There's no way around none of it. You see that? So hence the whole theme of like the river she's talking about, going down to the river where you drink of what? Of Obama's semen. That's what happened during the time of the Akhenaten. He'd do that inside of the Nile River, and they would go and drink from it, gain their blessings. So you see how deep that goes. That's why she's saying you go down to the river, they ain't, you're gonna be able to learn, you're gonna be able to become liberated. While the proud Mary continues to burn, because we continue to rule this world. Hence Messiah look as if he was burnt in the furnace. Stuff is crazy. And notice that right here. Let's get even deeper. Listen to Nelly. Listen to your boy Nelly talk.
You got to wear that furry thong because you wore it anyway. Yeah, hold on, Obama.
Hold on, let me go back. Let me go back. Listen to this, man.
I told Monique not to wear that furry thong because she wore it anyway. Yeah, hold on, Obama.
No way. No way around this, man. Hold on, I gotta hear this one more time. This is crazy, man. It's just this is how I go. Worship your God, man.
I told Monique not to wear that furry thong because she wore it anyway. Yeah, hold on, Obama.
Crazy. You feel me? Crazy. Love to drink from that Nile River. Let's keep the proud Mary burning. You feel what I'm saying? It's all in our face. It's all in our face. So as you know now, you got the new film coming out called Death on the Nile. And as you can see, they already know that they're losing control of it. Look at it, Kara. And they already know these Masons know that they're losing control of this ark, man. So as you can see, you got the boat right here, the ark, the covenant. They know they're losing control. Hint death on the Nile. Hint the Nile River. Hint Egypt. As it's written, we're living in spiritual Egypt. We're coming out of the false Egypt, you know what I mean? Everything's going to be fulfilled because as it's written, that the kingdom of God, remember I already said this before, that the Messiah what? As it's written at I'm so sorry. As written in that day, there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt. So everything's being fulfilled. So this false Egypt that we're living in, this spiritual Egypt that we're living in with these Masons, is going to fall, it's falling apart. Death on the Nile. And I'm about to get deep because I'm going to delve into the moon night. And when you understand the moon night, as we already know, the Masons are the moon worshippers. So hence the moon night represents the Messiah bringing down and battling against the Masons. I'm about to show this right quick. Look at this. Let's delve into the moon night. Because the guy who plays the moon night name is Oscar Isaac. Hey, you remember I already broke that down before about Isaac. You remember as it's written, the God of Isaac and Abraham's son. It's the promised child. And remember, I broke down Oscar, how Oscar don't mean nothing but what? To be the sacrifice. Remember how I was breaking it down? Remember in pagan Egypt, you have Osiris. And remember how he was eaten and devoured after death, because hence the whole theme of the Oscar, all of that deals with is like the whole theme of being like the sacrificial lamb, and eat of my body, eat of, and drink of my blood type thing. Not how they do it in the Catholic way. I ain't talking about that way, but I'm talking about like in the sense of taking on the spirit. You know what I mean? To hint the Oscar theme and remembrance. They use it in the sense of cannibalism. I'm actually I'll do a video on that one day. Just give me a little time. But look at this right here. Here, that's the Messiah. Notice that. You see Egypt right there. And you see how he saw his reflection? You see the reflection? And had Egypt. And on this movie, what they call it is called Louis Trilemma. I show that in videos millions of times. But Louis Trilemma, how the Messiah goes from being a lamb to a king, as a goat. In number 776. He's as the royal bull. In Revelation 4:7, he's as the royal bull, son of man, flying bird, and the lamb, and the lion of Judah type thing, the wolf. So all of that is like different personalities, how they try to use it. Say he's crazy, or he has a Louis trilemma. Louis Eternal. That's what they call it. Suffering from personalities, because they like he's coming back time and time again, and he's coming into becoming king. So how we're leaving, how that show Egypt, because that's showing the spiritual Egypt that we're in, and how he's meant to rule. Because remember, I just showed it, death on the Nile. So look at this. You see that beetle right there? That's very important. And you got that pyramid over his shoulder. And you see that beetle right there on the box. Because when you understand that beetle, remember I broke this down before. When you understand that beetle in Malachi 4:2, as it's written, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and shall go forth, and you shall grow up. And he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the ends of the earth. So as you see, that ensign right here, that emblem, is what? This right here we're looking at right in the middle. You see that the healing in the wings, the beetle. You know what I mean? It's all, remember in the pagan Egypt, remember the beetle would push the stone across the sky to roll, it would roll a stone, and then they had Horus to come on the scene and Messiah roll. So hence the whole theme of like Beatles and the Rolling Stones were together in the 60s. I mean, they came out around the same time in the 60s, 50s, 60s era. And you remember right before 1976, they had to do that. No way around none of this, man. So you see how I said that the beetle will have healing in his wings, and that it will hiss unto the saints. Look at this. Hint as it's written, behold, he cometh with clouds. Hint the phone type thing, the internet, the cloud. That's why in 1976, Microsoft and Apple came on the scene. But look at this. Hint Cara, whistling through the phones. Saints waking up. The saints waking up. Let's keep it rolling. You see how he's in the mirror? You see that? You seeing his form. You see that? Like all of this stuff comes together. Notice this right here. It's all in our face. Let's look deeper into this. How he's looking in the mirror of the glass again, and he's seeing him as a ruler. The spiritual Egypt thing. Look at this. How I call upon the Lord, and he has the keys to, how he has the keys of heaven and hell. See how deep that goes. Call upon the Lord. Look at how the beast was on the phone, the alligator, the beast out to sea. All of this stuff is deep, man. You see how all the people are kneeling on their knees, and every knee shall bow to him. Let's get even deeper. Look at this, how he breaks the glass. And how I said Messiah want to crawl out. Remember I was showing that right here with the glass right here. Remember I said he want to come out the glass. You see how deep that goes. So it's all about who got the eyes to see and ears to hear, man. Let's delve even deeper. Remember in Matthew 4 when Satan wanted to tell Messiah to cast himself down and believe in himself, be his own God? Look at this. Cast yourself down. Then they show the altars, the pyramids. One more time. You see that? Hint Messiah, the Moon Knight battling against the Masons. Stuff is deep, man. So yeah, like this guy named Gaspard, he's one of the actors on the Moon Knight. You feel what I'm saying? And I did some digging into this brother right here, or this man right here. And dude plays Lewis multiple times. You know, on Summer Things, he plays Lokich. I mean, Luke was a Lewis, hint Lou. Then you got Lewis, he played on Brotherhood of the Wolf. Remember I said the Messiah is as the wolf leading the pack, the Saints. Um, he played William, you know what I mean, on the Art of Love. I'm gonna show that in a second. He played Lewis on It's Only the End of the World. He played Lewis on The Dancer. You know what I'm saying? Consistently. And it's nothing but blasphemy nonstop. It's nothing but blasphemy. And when you understand it, which is so deep, because the art of love is directed by Emmanuel. And remember, as it's written, when the Messiah came on the scene, his name should be Emmanuel, because all Emmanuel means is the Son of Man is among us. You know what I mean? So that stuff is deep. How Emmanuel wrote the art of love, you know, written and directed it with Lewis on the movie. Like it's just no way around this stuff. And I show this every day. And Emmanuel as Lewis. And you got William on the movie. So here Emmanuel plays Lewis. Like it's constant. And then you got Lewis on here as well. A man named Lewis. He plays Ludovich. Hint Lewis. So it's like it's just nonstop blasphemy. Hint the dancer. Remember, I had did a video about You Got Served. You know, people remember the movie with Marcus Houston and Omarion. Remember Omarion played David and Marcus Houston played Elgin. I think his name was El. So hint like Elohim and then David. And I broke that movie down. And I might put that action, put that in the comment section below as well. And it was deep because remember when David was on there dancing, you know, in the rain, and it was so deep because hence the whole thing of being connected, you know what I mean, in a sense of the dance and in a sense of remember when David danced in the scriptures because he was so much in the high praise for the Most High. Remember how he danced himself until he was out of his shirt. So the dancing thing is very important. You know what I'm saying? Hint the rhythm of God, you know, the hymns, the songs, the psalms. So when you look how deep this goes, you got William Houston is an actor on the movie. Lewis is another actor again. And then Gaspard plays Lewis on the movie as well. So it's like, and then you got another man named Lewis Garrell. So it's constant Lewis, you know, and this stuff is all in our face. It's all in our face. That came out 2016. It's Only the End of the World came out 2016 again, where he played Lewis, who is he's an ill writer who's terminally ill. And he returns home after a long absence to tell his family that he is dying. So hence the whole theme. I'm actually going to show y'all something right quick to prove my point on this. This is very important. Look at this. If you remember the book of Eli, remember you had Denzel land inside the room, hint the temple, he enters the altar, and then he dies, and you remember the man, you know, fulfills and writes the book of life. You see how they was showing the book of life was fulfilled. So I need to actually do a breakdown on Book of Eli. But you see how he's inside the temple in white, because how the Messiah will be purified in his garments and come into rulership. So and they're talking about, you know, he's dying and he's terminally ill because that's showing what? The whole theme of you know, the Messiah preparing for what? To be anointed to become king over the earth forever and ever. And you see how he returned home after a long absence to tell his family that he is dying. You feel what I mean? Because hint, the whole theme of the family is talking about hint the saints. It's that real, man. And he plays Lewis on the movie, and his brother. And on here, he was actually, he was into men on this movie. Lewis was. Remember, I broke that down earlier. How they keep using that in their own wicked Hollywood ways. But what that's talking about is like the covenant between the sons, the 144K men, and who are as virgins unto the Most High, hence spiritually pure. So hence the whole theme of that, why he had to be like that into men. You got William. I mean, you have his brother name was Anton, and all the name Anton means is what? To be highly praiseworthy. So you see how deep this goes. There's no way around none of this stuff, man, at all. You know what I'm saying? It all comes together. That whole theme. And this guy right here, he just died like 2 days ago. On, what was it, January 19th? He just died 2 days ago. His career actually started a year after I was born. He started in 97. I'm going to break this down because they said it was a skiing accident where he was skiing and he died. I'm going to break that down in a little bit. Give me a little time. Get to that later. I had came across a little report about a lady getting hit by a car during her news report. She said this is her last week on a job. Hint the Kara theme again. The Kara. And remember, like, note, as you can see, it's in Dunbar, West Virginia, I believe, West Virginia, Dunbar. Hint the bar, hint the whole thing with the rod of God. And as you can see, she got the 33 right in her face. And she said it's the end of her week. Hint the Messiah brings the good news. Hint Kara coming on the scene to take the bar back, the rod. And you can see that 33. Hint the highest level to be anointed. And she gets hit by the car. As you can see, you got Mason County at the bottom when the whole thing was being done reported, and you got Mason County. Come on, man. Notice she's throwing up the devil horns. And I want to get into this because a fellow subscriber had commented about Joey Bad, about his new song, The Revenge. And the whole thing. And it was actually the guy who directed the video name was Child. So hint the child should lead them. Remember, I broke that down about Kevin Hart, true story, where his name was Kid. Hint the kid should lead them. The Lamb shall rule forever and ever. Messiah, the Lamb. So you see how high level blasphemy this is because it's all showing. You obviously got the all black, and then you have the all red. You know what I'm saying? Everything is showing in there inside the temple. Hint the great resurrection, the whole great rebirth, the ascension. And the reason why he ascended is because remember he just played on Raising Canaan. And as you can see, I'm going to play this clip and chime on in. As you can see, this is Lulu on Canaan, where he had got attacked. Joey played Unique on the show, and that was Lewis and Rock's enemy. I'm going to play this right quick. Notice he's inside his temple. So I'm going to get right to the point. I said Messiah looked as if he was burnt in the furnace.
Light that bitch up.
See that? Attack the Messiah. Hint the revenge. Notice this right here. Excuse the language. Because this was showing about the war that they're waging against the saints. You know what I'm saying?
All them old debts being collected. We pay right the fuck now, you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Man, woman, child, I don't give a fuck. They gotta go. I want all Rock's people fucking dead.
See that how he's saying he want them all dead. Excuse the language once again. But you see how he say he want all the people dead. Anyone connected to Rock and Lewis, he wants them dead. Hint the war against the saints. Therefore, what? The great ascension. So you see how deep this goes, because hint, like I was talking about this earlier, it's the end of the world with Lewis, 2016. A high level year, because this is where I'm about to get deep. Because when you weigh 144,000 stones, it becomes, what? It literally has 2016 in its weight. Do you feel where I'm going with this? It has 2 million pounds, man, in its weight where all equals 2016. No way around none of this stuff. You know what I mean? No way around none of this stuff. 2,016,000 pounds. Because when you understand that the 144K, as is written in Revelation 3:12, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in a temple of my God. Pillar in a temple. That's why Joey wanted Lou attacked in his temple. Remember I said this earlier about Book of Eli with him inside the temple, preparing to die because hint going into the death, hint conquering death to become spiritually immortal and ruling in the spirit kingdom, conquering flesh, conquering death. So you see, I want them all dead. The ascension, the revenge. So hint how deep this goes, because 2016 was obviously a significant year. That's why Trump had to come on the scene in 2016 and Obama had to exit, because hint the trumpets of Revelation sounded off. Hint Donald Trump. You feel what I'm saying? Hint the saints were being sealed and awakened. We were waking up in that time frame. That's why LeBron James and Stephen Curry had to battle each other all those years before the Warriors finally got taken down by the Mark of the Beast, aka the Toronto Raptors. Nothing but the beast, the dragon, the dinosaur, the T-Rex. So you understand how deep this stuff goes. And King James represents the word of God, strengthening the saints, hint the warriors, the Golden State Warriors, those who are refined as gold. 2016, 144,000 stones will I make in a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go out no more. And I will write upon him the new name of God, and in the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. You see how deep this stuff goes. All of this stuff comes together, man. And Lewis has a TV show back in the day, and it's deep because Lewis, TV show Inspector Lewis, his wife died in a car accident. I mean, a hit and run collision. I'm sorry, hit and run collision. So you understand how deep this goes. The hit and run, hit the car thing. Remember how I said they always want to try to destroy the bride. You know what I mean? They love to destroy the bride, hint the car damage. Remember when I was showing that earlier about the car coming back on the scene? They always want to destroy the bride because Lewis is leading them. Hint, he's the chauffeur. Just like as it's only the end of the world, Lewis, his brother name was Anton, which means what? To be highly praised. And then on there as well, you see the guy is Sasha Samar. He's the chauffeur. So there's no way around none of this stuff. It all comes together. It's that real. Hint the movie Cool Runnings. Remember when I was talking about to break this down really, really quick. Remember I was talking about this dude right here who always played Lewis dies by a ski accident. Remember when I said that? Hint the movie Cool Runnings. I want to break it down. When you understand that skiing, hint they want you to hold the ride yourself and just remember as it's written in Jeremiah 3, stop backsliding, children of Israel, for I am married unto you. Return unto me, the Most High says. Hint they want people backsliding on their own ride, skiing the snow. Because as it's written in Isaiah 1:18, come now and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be white as snow. So they want you to backslide and go back into living in sin. You see how deep this goes. And on the movie Cool Runnings, Raw D. Lewis, he played Junior. And listen to what he says. This is him, hint the looking glass again. Lewis in the mirror. Listen to this.
Tell me what you see.
I see Junior.
You see Junior. Well, you want to know what I see? I see pride. I see power.
See that?
I see a badass mother who don't take no crap of nobody.
You See how deep this goes. I see power. Lewis in the mirror. Let's listen to 50 talk right quick. Listen to what he said who his boxer was.
Drake will be on this card too, so he's 12-0. Get a chance to see him in action. And a few other, Luis Alvarez.
Hold on, let's go back. I broke 50 down a million times with his show power. I need to do one on him by itself. But listen to this.
So he's 12-0. Get a chance to see him in action. And a few other, Luis Alvarez.
Never ends, man. Let's get deeper before I end this video. All right, this is on Tubi. People who are familiar with Tubi, you know, a lot of it's like a free site, you know, where you watch all kinds of movies, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm gonna play this clip because this movie is called Blood Sacrifice, about how the music industry operates. And the guy right here is threatening one of the men that he's trying to sign because they had some stuff go down between him and his wife with you know, they had like a big act, you know, intimate, like sexually. Let's leave it at that. And he's threatening him, if you don't sign with me, this is what I'm going to expose. But I'm going to play the clip, and then I'm going to get right to the meat of it.
It's amazing with technology today. Go and take a look. What? Yeah, Facebook, internet, footage like that could either make you or break you. Internet gonna be blowing up. I'm sure we have understanding now, right?
See that? Now let's go deeper into this. Listen to the bribe. Look how they don't even know what's going on and what happened to them.
Chain is this? What's that?
Nico gave it to me.
What's in it?
I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to know.
Give it here.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
That's like $60,000, $70,000.
67 again. You see how I proved my point about that 67? See how they got bribed out, and that's what happened. They gave him 67K. I'm going to actually end that right here. Thank you for watching Hide and Seek TV. Much more is coming. Peace.